Hal Sienkiewicz here from the Estate Preservation and Planning Law Office in Amherst, New Hampshire. So today we're going to have the sequel to the much acclaimed video, 5 Estates. This is the estate of John and Janet. So John and Janet are a married couple. John's 33. He's an engineer. He works for a local defense aerospace company. He's been working about 11 years since he got out of college with a bachelor's degree in engineering. Janet's 31. She's a nurse. She worked for a couple of years right out of college. Then she and John got married. And she's been home for the last 7 years, more or less, raising their children, Timothy and Emily. And she just got back into the workforce about a year ago. So she works for a local nonprofit hospital, and she makes $50,000 a year. John makes $110,000 a year, so their total household income is $160,000. So John and Janet know they ought to have wills. Maybe they need a trust. So they've started doing some investigation, looking around for local estate planning lawyers, and they've come across my website, and they've clicked on the link that was in the email or by the video here that says 3 ways to start planning for your family now. So I'm going to go through what John's estate will look like and how we would lay it out if he came in to see us. So when somebody dies, they have an estate, and it's basically a bunch of assets. So this is what we look like. It's a list. It's a list of assets. So John's got some retirement assets, 3 accounts. He's got a 401k with his current employer, this defense aerospace company, with $60,000 in it. He's got a 401k from a prior employer that he spent a couple of years at right after college. He's got $20,000 in that. And he also has a traditional individual retirement account, or IRA, that he inherited from his father. And that's got $50,000 in it. He's got some non-retirement investments. He's got a brokerage account. He's a pretty good saver. He started working hard when he was in high school, saved up some money while he was still a bachelor. He's got $15,000 in a brokerage account. He's got some life insurance. Okay? He's got a wife. He's got young kids. He knows he needs life insurance. His employer provides him with a benefit of 3 times his salary if he dies while he's still employed. So 3 times $110,000 a year is $330,000. He also has an outside term life policy that's $500,000. Okay? They own their house in a decent suburb, and they've got $60,000 in equity on it. They've got a pretty large mortgage, but they've got about $60,000 in equity in it, and they each own the house jointly. It's joint tenants with rights of survivorship. So John's half of that is $30,000. All right, then they've got some cash. John has a checking account in his own name from his bachelor days. He's got $5,000 in that. He's got a savings account, again, only in his name, and he's got $1,000 in that. And then they have a joint checking account from which they pay the household bills, and right now there's about $4,000 in that. So if John were to die, his share would be $2,000, at least the taxable estate, if it were taxable. Personal property. So John's got a couple of items of what we lawyers call personal property. We divide the planet up in terms of things you can own into real estate, tangible personal property you can touch, and then intangible personal property, stuff like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash. Personal property. So he's got a car. It's a relatively late model car. He's making payments on it, but if he had to sell it today, he'd get about $4,000 in equity. And he's got a motorboat, and it's paid off, and it's worth $5,000. So if John were to die today, his estate would be worth $1,020,000. Like a lot of us young working guys, we're worth more dead than alive. It's like Jimmy Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life. So we're starting to look at John's estate. John and Janet go to my website and they click on 3 ways to start planning for your family today, and they come in and see me, and this is what John's estate looks like. And next video, I'm going to tell you what happens after this. Spoiler alert, John's going to die.